Hello, my fellow YouTube enjoyers. Now, before we start today's review, I have a hypothetical for you, so just bear with me. So you're walking through a busy city, and in a dark alleyway, you see a dumpster. Now, normally, you would just avoid such places, but for whatever reason today, you decide you need to go take a look. And as you approach the dumpster, you peer in and say, "Oh no, I can't believe this is in there." You see a firearm, a gun. And so you fish it out quickly and you say, "I have to take this back to the police station." And as you're walking, you begin to observe, well, what kind of gun is it? And as you look, you see, oh no, what have I done? No crime has been committed. And you think to yourself, I have to return this back to one of his own kind. And then as you look and you see what type of gun it was, you realize it was the IWI Masada. Genuinely a piece of trash. Okay, on to an overview of the gun. This is the IWI Masada. It is a polymer frame striker-fired gun. Has a 5-inch barrel, ambidextrous controls, including an ambidextrous mag release. It's optics ready, comes in the box with all the optics plates you'll ever want, as well as 2 magazines. It is a full-size 9mm gun, and it also is an FCU. For those who don't know what an FCU is, that's a fire control unit, and that just means that the trigger group is the serialized part on the firearm, and that's the part that's technically a gun. So that means that piece can be removed, and you can take that and put it in a different size frame with a different size slide, sometimes the same slide depending on the size of the frame. But essentially, you can have multiple guns with one technical gun, if that makes sense. For this review, we shot 500 rounds, mostly Federal Champion, but we also shot CCI Blazer Brass, as well as CCI Blazer Brass with the aluminum case. And we only shot one kind of defensive ammunition this time, which was Fuyoshi Defense Dynamics. During the course of the review, we had one malfunction. We also had another malfunction, which was probably my bad. What was that? My optics just flew off and hit me in the head. But other than that, how does the gun feel? How's the fit and finish? Well, the gun points naturally. This is cleared, by the way. We clear the gun before every video. But there are some things that are less than desirable on the firearm. The texturing on this gun is less than desirable. It is not nearly rough enough for me. And honestly, I would actually just altogether say it's pretty smooth. It's not really doing a whole lot other than it's there. The slide stop works well. Catches well. It's nice and big, which, depending on who you are, that's a good or a bad thing. I personally like that. Going on to the weakest point of the firearm, the trigger. So let's take a look here. I'm going to show you the brake and the reset here. So here is the brake. Okay, I'm going to show you again. Here's the reset. Comes all the way out. And then the brake, you get almost immediate resistance. And then you pull. It's really gritty as well. I'm getting a lot of grit through here. Then it brakes. Okay. Now, I know that feels slow the way I'm pulling it. But the reason I'm showing it like that is because I'm feeling a constant grit through the whole course of the trigger. Let me just show you the reset one more time. Okay. So aside from the gritty, way overly long trigger that they advertise as 6 pounds, but I would really say is probably higher than that. The worst part about this gun, worse than the trigger weight, is by far the trigger geometry, all right? So as you pull the trigger, right, most of the weight due to its geometry is on the bottom portion of your fingers. So point of reference, you typically want the pull weight here, right? That's where you want the trigger to interface with your finger. However, with this trigger, it interacts mostly down here. And that's because they have this weird little loop out, whatever you want to call it. And what happens is as it's fully to the rear, it has a 90-degree break. However, the trigger is not perfectly straight. And because of that, it wants to dip down to become more in line with your hand. So it's just asking for you to shoot low and to the left. Now, in my testing, I found you could work around this, right? But I really had to focus and pay attention to my trigger control. Otherwise, I was always consistently dropping my shots. Okay, so just my experience with the gun, it wasn't generally good. I did say it pointed well, and that is true. However, there is not enough going for me to really recommend this gun. Had reliability issues, comes with cheap plastic optic plates, trigger is awful, the geometry is awful, the weight is awful, the reset is awful, and the brake is awful. The grip texture, I've seen worse, but it's not good. I would 1 to 10, 4, okay? I also noticed during testing in the footage that there was super sporadic ejection patterns. So it would go front of me, behind me, to the left of me even. A couple hit me in the head as if that didn't happen enough. Granted, this is just my experience. However, when I look at the whole picture here, I still can't recommend it, right? So aftermarket support, basically 0. This has no magazine compatibility with any other firearms. Now the Masada Slim, its little brother, more of like a Springfield Hellcat size, that has great aftermarket support. This one does not. That is also an FCU gun, just for the record. The holster availability, it's out there, but not really. A lot of companies make them. I can't. I mean, for the price of the gun, which is between $500 and $600, there's just a lot better options out there. Now, I did bring up that this is an FCU gun, and that's kind of where it gets me too, because they don't offer different sizes for the grip. They only offer different colors, and it's only 2. They offer, well, 3 in total. FDE brown or whatever, coyote brown. OD green? No, actually they don't offer that. Gray and black. No OD green. So why would you get this when there's so many other guns out there, when the only benefit of it is that you can change the color when you feel like it? That's not worth it to me. So all of that to say, yeah, I would save your money for something different. Maybe if you find it used on sale, go ahead and get it, but not for me. On to our 2 facts. First one is going to be, it's going to be a sum of facts, okay? So Masada, wrong side, Masada is a fortress in Israel, and if you didn't know this about IWI, they name all of their firearms after places of historical significance. So at Masada, there was a Jewish colony there that was holed up from the Romans. And the thing about Masada is it's up on a plateau. So it has steep cliffs and then a flat top, right? And the Romans, not able to scale up a cliff to take the place, they decided to build a ramp to seize it. However, when they got up there, when they finished the ramp and they went through the gates, they saw that all of the people there had taken their fate into their own hands. So there's fact number 1. Let you sit on that for a second. Fact number 2, this is the religious base fact. Now, this is not for certain. However, it is believed that Masada was set up during the time of David, and this is where David was originally hiding from King Saul when Saul was chasing him down, trying to kill him. So with that, that's all I've got to say. Please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. There's milestones that YouTube creators hit when they can start monetizing their content, and these videos can be expensive to make, so I'd really appreciate that. Up next, I have not 1, but 2 firearms to review for you. It's going to be the Beretta APX A1 Tactical and the A1 Compact. Thank you for watching.